Keeping ball pythons together sends people into a frenzy, a rage induced by a simple question. Can ball pythons live together? Many keepers of ball pythons say no. They will bully each other, try to eat each other, or even try to smother each other. But many zoos keep ball pythons together. So why is there so much mysterious controversy over this subject? Where does it come from, and is such a volatile reaction justified? This image is often shared as evidence that ball pythons will absolutely eat each other. You can see that a ball python has indeed swallowed another ball python. It's a startling image that does a good job at leaving a lasting impression in your mind. Ball pythons in the wild are not actually known to eat reptiles. In fact, they're only ever recorded to eat mammals and birds. There seems to be an absence of reptiles in the diet, and not only an absence of reptiles, but an absence of snakes, and not only an absence of snakes, but an absence of other ball pythons. Yet this picture tells a different story. The story of these two ball pythons seems to change slightly in internet folklore, but the overall story is this. A ball python breeder was travelling to a reptile show and stored these two snakes in a bag together. They were left in the bag for a prolonged period of time until one ultimately tried to eat the other. A sad story, but a sad story with a specifically unique scenario. Certainly different from two ball pythons living in an enclosure that's well planned. But what about the zoos? Why are so many of these ball pythons housed together? Surely these zoos are experiencing rampant cannibalism. So I put this question to zookeepers. The trend among zookeepers who were willing to answer my question was it's fine and very low risk. The experiences of zoos seems to oppose that of other keepers, when in fact they actually find ball pythons resting together quite regularly. But is that because it's natural to the ball pythons, or is it because it's been forced upon them? To get the answers we seek, we need to look towards the wild. In this old documentary, they regularly found many ball pythons living together in burrows. So it's apparent at certain times of year, at the very least, ball pythons are resting together
from one burrow.
But all of this hangs upon the most important question of all. Is this what the snakes actually want, or is this forced upon them through necessity? Is it because in the wild there's not enough good hiding spots to go around? A study was done to investigate just that. Juvenile ball pythons were mixed into different 6-member groups of mixed sexes. They were then placed into an arena and observed for 10 days. There were 6 hides for 6 snakes placed evenly across the arena, and the temperature was held at 28 degrees Celsius, so that one hide was not warmer than the others. The researchers would shuffle the snakes each day by placing them either in the center of the arena or by placing each of the snakes into their own hides. And what they found was shocking. The ball pythons would leave their individual hides and move over to all pile up into one hide. Again and again, each ball pythons would make their way from individual hides after each shuffle to end up all in one big pile in one hide. The design of the methodology made sure that it wasn't temperature or a lack of resources that influenced this decision making. They weren't forced to hide together at all. The snakes were specifically attracted to each other. Even though all the hides were uniform and exactly the same, the researchers thought, hey, maybe they just really like this hide. So they removed that home base hide and took it out of the arena. And little by little over time, the snakes would pick a new home base hide and all pile into the same hide. Were they all trying to smother each other in a last man standing kind of Royal Rumble, or were they actually just trying to seek each other's company? The researchers actually concluded that juvenile ball pythons are highly social and seek each other out. So if ball pythons are shown to not eat snakes in the wild, live together in zoos all year round as adults and babies, and are shown to rest together in the same hides, are shown in the wild to do the same and rest together in burrows in the wild, and researchers found that juvenile ball pythons will seek each other out to form piles in studies, that would lead to the logical conclusion that ball pythons are far more social than we ever realised, and are only now just beginning to understand. Is it possible that people are just overreacting? If you are one of those people, and all zoos, all studies, and what they do in the wild differs from what you are saying, is it possible to consider this topic is not black and white, like you think it is. And if you are someone who's going to try and keep ball pythons together, here are some things to consider. Make sure you have a big enough enclosure so that if they want to be together they can, but if they want to be apart they can do that too. Have enough hides, basking spots and resources so there's enough to go around. Feed each snake individually and be there and watch so that both snakes don't end up on the opposite side of a rat and then one slowly swallows the other by accident. That's when accidental swallowings can occur. Make sure you have the ability to offer another enclosure if you feel the need to separate. Do not put yourself in a situation where cohabbing is your only option. You're going to want to likely separate males from females so they don't overbreed her and tire her out. But also remember that you don't have to incubate eggs and you can totally freeze them and destroy them. There is no need to accidentally bring life into this world that you don't have an active plan for. Don't be married to the idea that you must cohab and don't be married to the idea that you mustn't. Approach this topic in a sensible, pragmatic manner. And if you are dead set against cohabbing, don't do it. But also, maybe stop attacking people for doing something that has quite a lot of logic behind doing it. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.